Welcome to the Anxiety Ridden Moms Club, the podcast where two moms, each with her own unique style, come together to navigate the wild ride of motherhood, careers, and anxiety. I'm Kylie.
And I'm Gina. There was a time when Kylie and I were direct competitors in corporate America and had different perspectives on growing our careers while managing life and all the things that come with it. But those differences have only made our friendship and our insights richer.
I like to call it trauma bonded, Gina. What started out as a difference of opinions evolved into a genuine connection. Our journey from varied viewpoints to a supportive friendship has taught us that every approach has its own strength.
Now, as co-hosts and best friends, we blend generations of wisdom with fresh, modern ideas to explore the challenges, joys, and yes, even the anxieties of being career moms.
So whether you're a seasoned pro or just stepping into the wild world of parenting, a new career, or new relationships, join us as we share stories, offer advice, and sometimes even overthink it all together.
Grab your favorite cup of tea or coffee and settle in. Welcome to the Anxiety Ridden Moms Club.
Before we dive into today's episode, we want to take a moment to acknowledge the devastating tragedy that recently happened in Texas. Our mama hearts are absolutely breaking for the families, the community, and every parent holding their kids a little tighter right now. We can't even begin to imagine the pain so many are walking through. Please know that here at the Anxiety Ridden Moms Club, our thoughts, prayers, and deepest love are with everyone impacted by this unimaginable loss. We know this heaviness is sitting on the hearts of so many of us right now, and we just want to say, we see you, we feel it too, and we're holding space for all of it today. With that, we'll shift into today's conversation, but please know, Texas, we are with you. Welcome back to the Anxiety Ridden Moms Club, the podcast where we say the quiet stuff out loud so moms everywhere feel a little less alone. I'm Kylie.
And I'm Gina. And today we're talking about one of the heaviest things we carry. And we're not talking about diaper bags or emotional labor. We're talking about mom guilt.
Oh yes, that sneaky, exhausting, never good enough feeling that seems to show up whether we're working too much, not working at all, feeding our kids fast food, or taking a solo Target trip. It's always there.
So let's start with this. What is mom guilt? It's that voice that says you should be doing more. You're not present enough. You're ruining them, even when we are doing our best.
And the wild part is, it doesn't even matter what the circumstances are. Stay-at-home moms feel it. Working moms feel it. Single moms, mom of one, moms of four. It's like a rite of passage.
Totally. And social media just pours gasoline on it. You scroll and see one mom baking organic muffins while her toddler does yoga and a matching set from Etsy. And you're like, cool, I just let my kid eat Pop-Tarts in the car while I screamed at Siri.
Been there, done that. Twice today.
Okay, let's get honest, Kylie. When's the last time you felt mom guilt?
Last night, 30 seconds ago, all the time. I don't know. I literally told Nora last night, I can't play right now. And it wasn't even playing. She wanted to, of all things, watch Dance Moms. So.
Oh, yeah. My daughter loves some Dance Moms, still at her age.
And I don't know. I feel so crazy sometimes because I feel like I just need to, I don't know, maybe I need a padded room. I just want to stare at a blank wall. But, you know, a couple weekends ago, we had her 10th birthday party, and I forgot how much work throwing parties at home are. And I feel like I've just been in this like state of confusion ever since. And let's, you know, obviously today we want to talk about all of the things that go into mom guilt. And, you know, specifically for me, it's working and having the kids. And now I have this new aspect of working from home. And I told you, I feel like it's never enough. I will have or be working or conference calls and someone's standing beside me dancing and, you know, they need help finding a shirt or whatever the case may be. But I always feel, you know, torn between work and motherhood and doing the best that I can at both, but neither one of them getting my full attention at times.
Right.
And I will say, with my new career, it's completely different than my past life, where my past life I was always on the phone. Something was always going on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So what's cool about my new role is that it's strictly 8 to 4, which helps with that boundary a little bit. Mm-hmm. But it is. You just feel like you're always getting pulled in 1,000 different directions, and figuring out how to manage that is tough.
Yeah, so it is tough. I think for me, especially when I had the boys even living at home, was the fact that I took on the responsibility of everybody's schedules, everything, everybody's needs, all the stuff that had to be done. And people say you got to let certain people take over other things, right? And then I'd try, but they do it wrong.
That's what we call control, Gina. And I have that problem too. We are control freaks. Yeah.
So I think that at the end of the day, I think I felt like sometimes if I gave up some things for them to do and they do it themselves and I could let go, it also made me feel like I wasn't doing enough for them. And I just would feel this horrible guilt all the time of like, well, then I'm not doing enough. I need to do more. Is that enough? Was that enough? I'm going to work all day. I get home. I'm stressed out. I need time. And then I need to take care of all these things. At least when I was taking care of all those things, I sometimes felt like a sense of, okay, I'm doing it all. I'm making it all happen. You know what I mean? And on the other hand, I was exhausted. Probably got crabby. Probably bit somebody's head off once in a while when I shouldn't have. But at the end of the day, I mean, I just think it's, I am a control freak, but ultimately I felt guilty if I wasn't doing all those things. And I just see all these different moms nowadays running around trying to make it happen. I think it's great that that people do have the ability to have even a job like yours where you get to be at home. So at least when you do end, it's done at 4:30, even if you have to work over, even if you have to work another hour in your work, at least when you're done, you're done. You're not driving to get home on top of it. I just think it adds to more of the guilt of the hours that you have away from your child.
It's a blessing and a curse because there's never me time. Mm-hmm. For a lot of years, I drove to the city and it was a 50-minute commute there and back Monday through Friday, and long 10-hour days. And back in those days, I felt guilty for not being home enough. Mm-hmm. And now working from home, there is no 50-minute commute to decompress. Mm-hmm. So you get done with one, you get done with work and work day, and you're full-blown mom mode. Here we go. Everyone's problems for the day, whatever it is. And it's exhausting. So how do we manage that? How do we be better at managing work and kids and all of the things? How are we expected to do it all?
It's a lot. It is a lot. Well, one thing I wanted to mention was when I did show up in time to do your podcast, Nora let me know that you working from home is something that she prefers.
Really?
Yeah. She said she didn't like it that you traveled before. She also told me that even though when you are on conference calls, she has to be dead silence, absolutely not a peep.
Which is hilarious because two things both of my kids, neither of them have the capability of being dead silent ever in their whole lives. So while they think they're being dead silent, there have been times where it sounds like, a tornado is happening upstairs and you just shake it off, right? There's my little Taylor Swift bit. You just shake it off and act like. There have been a couple of times. Once I literally was like day 2 on my new job and I just busted out laughing on a conference call. My boss was like, "What is up?" And I was like, so I had this conversation with the kids about being quiet. I was like, and Nora apparently decided to take up opera singing today, right now on this call. I was like, and I cannot handle it. So we had a good laugh about it. And that's what's cool about my current company is just that they're super down to earth. So we enjoy guest speakers on our conference calls. Today, somebody from the dev team had his dog Finn came as an emotional support animal. So that's kind of the cool aspect of working from home. But yeah, again, there are blessings and curses. And when I was, looking at making a change and was comparing jobs, there was a job again in the city. So I live in a small town that's about 50 minutes from St. Louis, Missouri. And I had interviewed with a company and the hours were 8 to 5. And I told my mom, I said, I will be gone from 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. And I've lived that life before. I don't want to live it again. I don't know how I did it when I did it. It seems impossible to think about now. So, that had a lot going into picking my next career path, was just the time away from home. So that's exciting or nice to hear that she appreciates me working from home. Or
She does.
Even that I'm appreciated at all for anything, because Lord have mercy.
Well, that's the thing, is moms, we're supposed to make it all happen, make everybody happy, get things done and put it in order. And I don't think everybody does always tell their moms or dads how much that they appreciate what they do every day. So unfortunately, I think that our kids tend to tell other people and not us. So that's why I want to make sure today, at least I shared that with you.
I love that. I love that. And obviously, social media is probably going to creep into every episode that we have.
Yes.
I know we touched on earlier that with social media, everything is so public, and a lot of guilt comes from what you see others doing.
Yes.
Online.
Their perfect lives.
Their perfect little lives and how everything's perfect. So there are a couple TikTokers that I really, really, really enjoy, and they just make me laugh because they show whatever it is, whatever they're doing, no filter. And those are the ones I obviously enjoy the most, because they're real, they're raw, and you get what you get. And I love that. But a lot of it is just the picture perfect lives that we're supposed to live. And
I think it's true, even like with the moms that are making everything organic and growing everything in their backyard, and it looks perfect, and their kitchen is spotless. There's not a thing out of place.
Or sourdough. When did everybody start making their own bread?
Hey, I've tried that. It does not go for me. That stuff is bubbling up, then it just dies. It just doesn't happen. And then be like, feed it. You need to feed it some more.
So if you have any sourdough tips, send them to my co-host. Send them her way, because I am not going to try it.
I did try. I was going to try again. Hey, I do really like sourdough. It's good. I cannot make it to save my life. Tried it many times. My daughter, my to-be daughter-in-law, she'll show me how it's just like pouring out of this jar she has, because it just keeps growing and growing. And I'm like, mine died the moment it began.
Like, who has time for that? Who has time for that? I see sourdough, like
Cookies,
roadside
everything.
Stands popping up, like stop by, get some sourdough. And, in today's day and age, you're looking for any way you possibly can to make money. So the thought has crossed my mind. But I've learned with baking, I'll see all of these videos of people baking cakes, and they're decorated so cute and all the things. And I'm like, that doesn't look hard. I totally got this. And then my mom and I have icing spread from one end of the house to the next, and it looks absolutely nothing like we envisioned. Everything online just looks picture perfect, and it never is. And so that definitely feeds into this mom guilt topic, is just life's not perfect. We're not perfect. So let's quit freaking pretending. Let's quit pretending. It is exhausting.
And you know what? I think it's one of the things is that women are always worried about how well that mom's doing. And then it puts pressure on yourself, right? And that even adds to our guilt. Like, well, I feel like Susie down the street is, champion of moms, and she makes it all seem so great. But yet at the same time, but wouldn't it be nice if Susie, that looks so perfect and her life's all together, would come down and talk to you with a glass of wine to discuss how it, it may look good from the outside. When the door closes, all hell breaks loose at her house too. I just feel like a lot of times women, we always talk about we want women supporting each other. But yet, for some reason, women are not. And women are too much talking about each other behind their backs or comparing each other to each other. It's not healthy. And we started it from, go back to the social media discussion. These kids are on social media, and all these things happen from that, and all these negative things happen. We don't really break the cycle even as adults. And I don't know how to, I'm kind of hoping, I guess, in this, that maybe we can find a way to get more women supporting each other, that it's okay to be real.
That is the goal, obviously.
And you don't have to feel guilty. You're being a mom. It's every day is another day. If your kids are fed, they've got what they need, all the basic things in life. They got a roof over their head, food in their belly. Doesn't matter if it's gourmet and organic perfectness or not. Like that all does. It's okay. To maybe tomorrow you'll make that sourdough bread right.
We've got to stop comparing for sure. Comparing ourselves to everyone else.
Yes.
And we mentioned it in episode 1, but it's okay to be average, to not, the days don't have to be extravagant. And again, talking about the birthday party, the pressure of everything. You see these birthday parties, these elegant birthday parties, or the bounce houses and the freaking DJs or whatever it is. And it's like, they're one. They're not going to remember this.
Heck, have you seen the 16-year-old ones? When my daughter's turning 16, I'm like, yeah, that ain't happening. I mean, these kids are like having you'd swear they're getting married. It's such an event. I'm like, you're turning 16, kid. Be happy you got a car. High five. I mean, I just can't. I can't.
So where is this coming from? Is it social media? Is it just society? Is it our own childhood?
I think it's a little bit of everything, don't you? I mean, I think from when you're young, it begins, who's wearing the coolest outfit, who has the best hairdo, whatever it is, who comes from I hear my daughter talk a lot about, who, I don't know, who comes from a family with all sorts of money. So they have all the greatest stuff and the coolest cars. And, there's, I don't know, some kid, I guess, that goes to her school or she knows in our neighborhood or something. I guess he has 1 million people who watch him. And she's like, it's like I know a celebrity. It's so exciting.
Oh, because he has 1 million followers.
Oh, yes.
Oh, boy.
He is super cool. I just think it comes from when we're young. And I think that as society's changed and social media goes on, it's not helping.
Hey, even with this podcast, it's a rabbit hole you can go down that, you and I are checking in with each other 18 times a day. How many downloads do we have? Where are we at? How many views? How many likes? It's a slippery slope. So
yes, you have to definitely keep it in check, because at the end of the day, I want to do this for us and to help each other people. Whatever happens with it, happens with it.
And you'll have to remind me.
I'll have to remind you that a lot.
When I'm like, we're only at this many, which shout out to anyone that has listened to us thus far. We've had a tremendous amount of support and number of downloads, and we are, again, you're going to have to remind me of this when I'm like, oh, what is happening? We've only had 4 downloads today. Again, slippery slope to go down, but honest to God, if we help one person or make one person feel like it's okay to not be okay, or it's okay to not keep up with the Joneses, or whatever it may be, just one person, I think that
it was worth it.
It was worth it, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, Kylie, so here's the thing. For many of us, I think that there's a generational piece to all of this. Like, maybe our moms weren't even allowed to talk about this stuff. In fact, I kind of can tell you, I know my mom wasn't. I think we inherited that pressure without the outlet. My mom, honest to God, their age group compared to our situations was so different. The way that they kept quiet. They don't talk about if their health issues. You don't talk about problems at home. You don't discuss hardly anything, because they really don't like that vulnerability. And I think it's so unhealthy. And I think that that's why so many of these people in my parents' age group have even more anxiety as women. I just think that they've hidden too much. And I'm hoping that for us, we can open up more. But I definitely think it's created a lot growing up around that, and kind of always being told to be quiet and keep it to yourself.
The things we don't talk about versus, and that's true. I feel like the millennials are kind of the breakout group of that, because there's not a lot that they don't. I say talk about, but when I say talk about, I mean like text about, because millennials don't like to talk that much, have actual like conversations. That's just unheard of, but nothing's off limits. Everything's out.
Yeah, it's out there for everybody to hear, to know, to talk about. And some of that's healthy too. Some of it can be where we talk about could become an issue for them at some point in time. I'm Gen X, so we just don't say what you always want to hear, but we say it. I think it's it's made it for me, I think, where I kind of feel like that's why I think even when we've talked about anxiety that I'm just like, I just got to talk about it. I got to make it open and out in the open for me to deal. But I think in the generation I was grown up in, that's kind of more where we were at. But I think the millennials have decided, well, you guys didn't face all your traumas as a child, which we chuckle about. Like, okay, all right, yeah, my traumas from when I was a kid, it's called being a kid, and we just had to suck it up and put up with it. But I do think the millennials have at least shed a lot more light on the fact that there's a lot of mental health issues from all these things, and maybe we should be talking more.
For sure. I've also read that that's why a lot of millennials are minimalists, because y'all were hoarders. You hoarded everything. Now, I didn't have that with my mom. My mom does not hoard. She likes to redecorate every so often. She's not necessarily a hoarder, but I have read that's why millennials are now minimalists, because of all the hoarders they grew up with.
Yes.
So,
oh, yes.
Back on topic. How do we break this cycle?
I mean, what do we do about it? Because the guilt isn't going anywhere, but maybe we don't have to believe everything it says.
Exactly. If you died tomorrow, would this matter? I try to pause and ask, is this true, or is this a story I'm telling myself? Like, am I actually a bad mom for saying no to playing American Girl dolls, or am I just human and I'm tired, or overstimulated? Overstimulated seems to be my favorite word lately.
Definitely. I mean, sometimes I picture what I'd say to a friend in the same situation. Would I guilt trip her? No. I'd probably say, you're doing great. So why not say that to myself?
Or tell me that I'm pretty. Remember, I like that.
Right.
I like when you tell me I'm pretty.
The one thing I will say is I've a lot of times told people, we give advice to our friends, right? You tell me, oh, this is what's going on with me and my kids. And I'm like, well, this is what you should do, or this is how you should discipline, or this is how you should take care of it. And then all of a sudden I'm in the exact same position and I do the opposite of what I just told you to do. Because you realize that when you really take your advice, it's hard, but it's the right thing. We should be trusting ourselves.
We absolutely have to remember that modeling self-compassion is just as important as modeling hard work or patience. Our kids are watching us. They're watching us be human, and that's a gift. So we've got to give grace to ourselves.
Right. I totally agree. I think we could definitely make a difference.
So please chime in here. We would love if you would share your own mom guilt moments, and we can talk through them. And I'm sure we will have that moment where we feel it, we've felt it, we've been there too. So don't hesitate to let us know your mom guilt, where it comes from, and let's work through it together.
Right. That's what we're here to do.
So here's our reminder for you today. Feeling guilty doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means you care.
And you're allowed to care deeply and still need rest, help, space, and grace. Guilt doesn't get to be the narrator of your motherhood story.
Thanks for joining us today on the Anxiety Ridden Moms Club. If you felt seen, send this to a friend who needs a reminder too. And don't forget to like us on Facebook or TikTok at the ARMC.
We'll be back next week with a new episode and probably more anxiety.
Absolutely, more anxiety. Next week, we're going all the way back to where the anxiety often begins, pregnancy. From body changes to identity shifts to the quiet fears no one warned you about. Episode 4 is getting real about pregnancy anxiety. Whether you're expecting, recovering, or just still processing, it's one you won't want to miss.
If no one's told you lately, let me be the one to say it. You're not failing, you're growing. You're not broken, you're becoming. And you're doing better than you think.
Thanks for being here today. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love if you'd subscribe, leave a review, or share it with another mom who might need to hear this. You can also connect with us on Facebook or TikTok at the ARMC. We'd love to hear your story.
Until next time, give yourself grace, breathe deep, and remember, peace is possible.